In this video, we are going to talk about greatest common factor, or here we have it abbreviated GCF. Okay, so how do we do greatest common factor? Um, so first thing is you have to be familiar with prime factorization. So if you're not, we're going to show it to you here, but you might be better off watching our prime factorization video. That might help a little bit. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to find all the factors for 50 and for 100. And after that, we're going to figure out which ones are prime factors. And after that, we're going to combine them. So it sounds complicated maybe, but it's not that bad. So, okay, so we start off like how many different ways can we multiply and get 50? All right, so 1 times 50. If you don't know what a prime factor is, don't even worry about it right now. We'll get to it in a minute. Okay, and then you just kind of go next. Like the next number is 2, right? 2 times 25. Barely left myself any room. 2 times 25, okay. And then after that, what else do we got? 3. We know 3 times 33 is 99, so 3 doesn't work. What about 4? 4 times 25. It's a good number. Oh, whoops, we're doing 50. I already jumped to 100, my bad. 4 doesn't work either. So 2 times 25 equals 50. 3, no, nothing works. 4, nothing works. Let's get my marker back. 5 works though, right? Because we have 5 times 10. 5 and 10. Okay, and those are all the numbers that work for 50. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll jump to 100, and then we'll go over how to find the prime factors for these. Okay, so for 100, same process, right? 1 and 100 to start off with. And what's next? 2 and 50. 2 and 50. 3 times 33 is 99, which I was saying when I thought we were on 100 earlier. But 4 times 25 works. 4 times 25 is a good one. 5 times 20 works. Hopefully I left myself enough room here, geez. 5 times 20 works. Okay, and then 6 does not work. 7, 8, 9 don't work, but 10 times 10 also works, right? 10 times 10 is 100. And that's all our possible factors. Okay, so now what do? We want to find the prime factors, right? So 2 is always a prime number. 5 is a prime number, right? You can only multiply 1 times 5, 1 times itself to get 5. But even numbers are never prime, right? So 10's not prime, 50's not prime. 25, you can go 5 times 5 to get 25, right? So 25 is not prime either. So the only prime factors we have are 2 and 5, right? And if we were doing prime factorization, which we're going to need to do, is what we would actually do for this is, we'll put this down here, 2 times 5 times 5 equals 50, right? 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. Okay, so that's how we do the prime factorization. Now for 100, again, 2's good, 5's good, 4, no, it's even, 10, no, even, 20, no, even, 25 we just rolled out, right? Because 5 times 5, 50, no, 100 now. So just 2 and 5, right? Okay, so how do we go about doing this one, right? So we have 2 times, like another 2 would still work, right? That would give us 4. And then 4 times 5 is 20. So we'll put in a 5 here. And 20 times 5 is 100. So that's our prime factorization of 100 right there. Okay. Now, we've done all of this work, right? And then we're trying to figure out which ones can we take from both, right? So we got a 2 here and a 2 here, and 50 and 100. So that works out nice. No more 2's up top for the 50, but it does have 2 5's. So there's a 5 here, and there's a 5 there. And so what we take is we just combine them, and this is going to be our answer. 2 times 5 times 5 equals 50. That's our answer. Okay, so that's greatest common factor. The more times you've done it, the faster you can get through this. So we're going to do one more. One more, just try and get used to it, because it's a little, like if you're in the app, it's a little hard to understand it sometimes just by reading the text explanation. Sometimes the video helps. If you're not in the app, then this is all you got to work with is a video, right? So another one should help you out. So a good way to do this is to go ahead and look at the problem and then see if you can solve it. Just pause it, see if you can solve it, and then come back and watch how I did it. See if we did the same thing. Okay, 20 and 130. Okay, so exactly the same thing we did before, right? So we have 20 and we need to factor it. Okay, how many different ways can we multiply a number to get to 20? So we always start off 1 and whatever the number is, yeah. So 1 and 20. And then after that, 2 and 10. 3 times, there's no number for 3, right? 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. So 3 doesn't work, but 4 works. 4 and 5, and that's going to be it for 20. Okay, and then we have 130. Okay, big number, right? But really we do it the same way. You may have to take your time a little on multiplying out some of these bigger numbers. Make sure we don't skip over anything. So we start off with 1 and 130, 2 and 65. Okay, 3 doesn't work. 4 doesn't work. Be careful when you're checking these though. 5 actually does work. So we have 5 and 26 works. And we also have 10 and 13. So there's 10. Barely enough room for 13. Hopefully you can read that okay. All right, so now let's go and figure out the prime numbers, right? So we always like 2. 4's even. We don't like 4. We always like 5. 5 show up a lot. And we don't like 10. Don't like 20. Okay, so we just got a 2 and a 5 for 20. Okay, and for 130, we like 2. We like 5. 10's even. We don't like it. We like 13. That's a good number, right? Only 1 times 13 equals 13. There's no other 2 integers you can put together to get you to 13. 26 is even. We don't like it. 65 No, we don't like that one either, because you can go 13 times 5 equals 65. And 130, no, because you could go 10 times 13. Okay, so the numbers that came out of that were 2, 5, and 13, right? Okay, so for 20, we go start off with that 2, right? And we could handle another 2, because 4 times 5 is 20. So 2 times 2 times 5. That's for 20. Okay, and then for 130, we'll start off with a 2 also, just pretty much always. And we could go, we can't really take any more 2s because 4 doesn't really work out. But we could take a 5 to get us to 10, and then multiply that by 13. Sound all right? Okay, so the 2's work on both here, and we've got a 5 here and a 5 here. And those are the only 2 that work, right? And so what we're left with is 2 times 5 equals 10. And that's the greatest common factor of 20 and 130 is 10. Okay, so that was greatest common factors. Hopefully it all makes sense now, or makes a little bit more sense, and as you practice them, they'll get pretty easy.